E.J. Burgay used to say, if you get all you can get out of Toastmasters, you'll never get out of Toastmasters. And that's true. But how do you get all you can get out of Toastmasters? By getting out of your comfort zone. Life begins when you get out of your comfort zone, and Toastmasters really starts to begin when you get out of the comfort zone of your home club and the familiarity that you have with that. One way to do that is through contests. So we're going to start by talking about contests. And I'm going to introduce the district contest coordinator, Jim Call, who's an advanced communicator bronze, advanced leader bronze. Jim is a fire protection engineer who works at the Smithsonian. Last year, he learned the power of the Toastmasters organization. He earned a triple crown. But not only that, he was in a President's Distinguished Club, in a President's Distinguished Area, in a President's Distinguished Division, in a President's Distinguished District. That's pretty amazing. He was also Toastmaster of the Year last year. This year he's serving as a district contest coordinator, and he's encouraging and supporting better contests throughout the district, and especially at the club and area level. So please help me welcome Jim Call.
Good evening.
Good evening.
What makes a contest different from the other meetings in your club? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, we encourage clubs and require areas, divisions, and districts to have 4 contests a year. What makes those contests different from your regular meetings? Your thoughts?
More at stake.
More at stake?
Competing.
Don't be afraid to mention the obvious.
Competition.
We're competing. Instead of in a contest, we have contestants and evaluations versus our normal speaker and evaluations. We rank, we have contestants and judges, and we, instead of focusing on individual improvement as we do at the regular club meetings, we're evaluating and ranking the best contestant. This is a difficult challenge, one that we're not used to, and it's a little bit outside of our box. What else do we have at club contests that we don't have?
Less interest in people wanting to be involved.
Less interest in people wanting to be involved. Not exactly the message I was looking for. But, yes.
You get eliminated if you don't make the time.
You get eliminated if you don't make the time. What?
There are some rewards.
There's some rewards, okay? I'll wait for the right answer, because oftentimes at contests we're waiting for these. Judges. Not quite. Close. What are we often waiting on? The judges are all there, and what are they off doing?
Balance.
We haven't gotten that far yet.
Being brief.
Being brief. We have briefings. At a club contest, we have briefings for the contestants, for the judges, for the timers, for the ballot counters, for the sergeants at arms. We even have a briefing for the audience. You know that one. Be quiet. Silence your cell phones. No talking. This means you. No lunching, no crunching. But what don't we have a briefing for? Who don't we have a briefing for? We don't have a briefing for the contest master or the contest coordinators. So tonight, I'd like to take a few minutes and give some suggestions, some hints for the contest master and the contest coordinator. First, for contest chairs, start early and get plenty of help. As a Toastmaster, your only interest in the contest may be to complete item 8 or project 10 from the competent leader manual. But as a contest chair, you need to fill all those soon-to-be briefed positions. So you'll need 5 or 7 judges, you'll need 3 ballot counters, you'll need 2 timers, you'll need a sergeant-at-arms for both doors, you'll need people to help with publicity, setup, and refreshments. You'll need contestants and model speakers and a contest master. My experience is that there are willing volunteers for all of these positions, but you have to work with them through the schedules and conflicts that we all have to allow time for preparation and for coaching. You can face an additional challenge if your club doesn't have a strong experience, a strong background with contests. Instead of just, if your club has a history of just sending Bob and Sue to the area contests because Bob and Sue like to compete, then often you have to convince your club officers to give you a time and a location to do a club contest. So the key here is to start early. Second point, don't reinvent the wheel. I'm not advocating theft, but somewhere out there are people who figured out how to have a title, a list of the contestants, an agenda, and acknowledgments, and get that so it's all reading the same on the page. Find those resources and use them. The web is awash in contest scripts. Now you shouldn't just steal one, because none has all the information for your contest in your area. You don't want to be reading a script and say, welcome to sunny Los Angeles to our Division I contest. You want yours customized and personalized for your event. The club, if your club always holds their contest in Conference Room A on the first meeting of March at noon, don't try to decide to have your contest in the evening on a Tuesday at 7. Don't reinvent the wheel. And finally, for contest masters, make the contest fun and fair and respectful. During the contest, be rigorous in enforcing the rules. Contest name, contestant name, speech title, contestant name is fine, as long as you pronounce the contestant's name correctly. Often we find situations where people are penalized to some degree because they have an unusual last name or an unusual first name. They ask for a show of hands, I see some here. So as a contest master, make sure that you take time to talk with the contestants and make sure that you understand how to pronounce their names. Now, the speaking interviews are your time to shine as a contest master. While the contest script, the formal contest, should be perhaps an assignment out of interpretive reading, your interviews with the contestants should be more along the lines of best of table topics. The speakers have all filled out a biography that gives information. So ask questions more interesting than what club you represent. How long have you been in Toastmasters? Take a few minutes to read those questions and come up with interesting questions so that the contestants and the audience will enjoy that time. Have fun. We have a couple minutes for some questions and answers, or at least some questions if we have some from the floor. Do you have any? Yes.
This is my first time being a contest chair, and I was very alarmed by what I heard behind me. Someone said everybody runs for the hills when you ask for help with a contest. Is that really true? Who said that?
Run from what?
It was you?
Yeah, I've been with Toastmasters 21 years. And it's the greatest fear that people have to speak. And so when you're talking about a contest, you're talking about wanting to do something that incorporates the greatest fear that man has. and compete at it. So people want to, I said what I said because of trying to get contestants. It's so much easier to get people who will say, oh, I'll participate, but not do the speaking.
And that could be a challenge. And again, I think a lot of times you do see kind of default speakers from clubs just because of that. But I think part of our challenge as contest masters and contest chair is to make sure that we find people that are interested in speaking. There's a lot of people that have been in Toastmasters for a long time that have never taken the chance to compete. They give very good speeches, and you say, well, why don't you compete? Well, they don't want to, they don't want to make a commitment. I think sometimes they're afraid they'll win. There are others that are just young in their Toastmasters career, only been in a year or so, still don't even have their competent communicator, but they have things to say. They still have that yearning to get up and speak, and they're enjoying that. And those people can be encouraged, I think, strongly by just giving them the opportunity and saying, you just try this at the local level, at the club level, and if it works out, great. And if you continue, we can help you. We can help you with your speeches. So give the new members confidence that they can get the help they need, and the old members the encouragement they need to just do it. Claire.
Having never attended nor seen in any way, shape, or form an evaluation contest, how does one go about selecting the speaker that will be evaluated?
That's a good question. One of the things you want to do for selecting a model speaker is you want someone outside of your club. You want someone that they have, that the people that are going to do that evaluation haven't heard before. And especially at the club level, it's important that that person that they're evaluating have things that are easy for the evaluators to find. So we're not looking for someone that's got a DTM and working on their fourth DTM to give the speech for the model evaluation. We want someone who's on speech 4, who's on speech 7, and is trying to, is learning and can get that experience and get that feedback not just from one person, but from multiple people, and really improve their speaking ability. So I think the key there is to find someone that's appropriate for the club. Now, as you move to the area and the district level, I think the quality of the speaker should improve so that it's more challenging for the evaluators to make an evaluation of a more advanced speaker. So it's one thing to say you need to improve your vocal variety. It's another to say your organization needs to improve. There are other things that we can see as we evaluate.
What kind of incentive would you share with them to get to participate in the speaking contest?
I'm sorry.
What kind of incentive would you encourage or would you share with your contestants to participate?
The question is, what kind of incentive would we share with the contestants? Technically, we're supposed to share a certificate of participation and maybe a first, second, or third place. Now, what I would offer to many of the contestants, especially those that are young, or young Toastmasters, is the chance to be coached, the chance to have people evaluate your speech outside of the club. One of the things that we see a lot of times is people give a speech and they might win their club contest, and all of a sudden they're really worried about the area contest because this is a different crowd, they're going to be seen by other people, they don't know these people, and all of a sudden the fears that they've been able to subdue all of a sudden are coming back. And so in those situations, if there can be people from the club that say, this was strong in your speech, you need to work on this was clear, this wasn't so clear, and to help them improve, to understand that it's a work in progress, and that you as a club member are interested in their speech now as they represent the club, not only as an individual, but as a representative of the club, you're interested in that. And I saw that last year as we took Clarence, who was in, I think it was District 36's speaking district champion, and GA, and watched both of them get coached at multiple levels by different people and really improve the quality of what was a very good speech. I think we have time for one more question.
I kind of get the feeling that, at least in my experience, the real competition doesn't really occur until like the district, the division level. And the reason why I can say that is because my club hasn't really had a quote-unquote real contest. It's really just been like, it's kind of like pulling teeth. It's like, who wants to be a part of this contest? And if anyone volunteers, well, they're automatically selected and they go to the area contest. But even at the area level, I see that there's not quite the participation that you would really want in for a contest. So my question is, how do you run a contest if your club is only like less than 10 people?
It's certainly harder. And as far as the level of competition, certainly that's going to increase as you get people from other clubs and that are other larger clubs, especially with a very small club. Often it's very difficult even to staff a contest. But I think that one of the things clubs can do to help become stronger clubs is to hold contests where people get excited and they say, gee, I won here, and if we do well at the area contest, then you can rally around those people as they move to the division contest. And when they lose, you say, wow, these people are going through the same program as us, and they're really good speakers. Because I know that's been my feeling at the division level especially, that some of these speeches were outstanding. And so even though it might not be as strong a competition as we like at the lowest level, it progresses pretty quickly. So I think that's fun to watch. I think it's an interesting experience, and it makes you, much like playing against a better team, it helps you up your game for the next year. So as contest chairs and contest masters, you plan and run some of the most memorable events for the annual Toastmaster year. It's your efforts and your enthusiasm, your planning and manning of the events that determines whether your club enjoys and learns from the contest, or whether that contest is a failure, and whether next year there'll be other people waiting to take over your role, or whether they say, let's have